sounds.
All right.
Hey, Frankie.
Hey, Sal, how are you?
Welcome. Well, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very good.
Thanks for
thank
taking
you.
the time to be here.
Hey, it's a pleasure. You know, I was a bit late because of the wheel of my bike. So, anyway, yeah. We really wanted
What happened to the
make
wheel of
this-
your bike?
I don't know if someone with a knife cut it, but
Why would somebody cut the...
I don't know. This is the question. Why somebody in Rome is usual to things like this, which is the advantage they get. But really, it's the second time in my life, not so much, I would say, that I find my wheel cutted.
Cut? But was it properly cut, like with a knife, or is it just a flat tire?
No, with a knife.
Seriously?
Yeah,
So you think somebody did it on purpose?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
But not because
got-
I am...
You have people...
No.
You got people who hate you?
Not getting there. No, I don't know, happened. Maybe it could be a strategy, I don't know which kind of strategy, then to steal it, because, if it's cutted, someone who used to park in his home, in his room, may leave it there if it's too late to find a store, I don't know. So during the night, the thief can take it, for example. Yeah, it's something.
You sound like you got some experience with that.
No, I mean, no. In my life, I lost 3 bikes. Yeah, they were stolen. But different experience from this knife and so on.
And you got a
Anyway.
nice bike, I saw. Like
I really
it's like the
it.
Lamborghini of bicycles, isn't
No,
it?
don't exaggerate. No, it's I don't want to make a sponsor. Anyway, my bike production. No, I don't have a bike production. So my bike is.
Well, if we get some views, we should definitely get paid for this.
Yeah, we
your-
would
by
like
your,
to. We would like to. So-
Bicycle producer.
I hope to become one day a bike producer. My bike is a city bike, half sporting, half city bike. I would say half city bike just because it doesn't have the, how do you say, the
Frame?
the frame to ride it, to
The
drive.
steering, what do you call it?
Like
Yes.
the
Yeah.
wheel, but I don't know how to call it in English. And this part,
The
this object
handle.
is not, and it's not the classic sporting for race, but it's a more typical sport. And anyway, the
What's the name
brand,
of what's the name of the brand?
the brand is Lombardo. Lombardo is the house, is the factory. And Ventimiglia, I really suggest the Lombardo Ventimiglia for who likes to go fast in the city, and also to go out of the city, having nice rides out of the city, mountains, next to the sea. It's very hard in Rome to ride a bike.
It's fucking dangerous, isn't
It's dangerous, yeah. So it's not very good if I suggest someone to ride a bike in Rome, because first because of the paths,
it?
right? Do I speak right? Paths.
The roads.
The roads, yeah.
Yeah.
The quality, the non-quality of the roads.
We
yeah.
are the non-native speakers.
Oh, Mario!
Have some patience with us.
Nightmare is
He's gonna
over
watch.
now.
He's gonna watch this
princess.
podcast. He's gonna get mad at you.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna watch it. So we have someone who's gonna watch it. If you want to watch it as well, we can watch it together.
Yeah.
So we can
It's already 2 people watching the podcast.
2 people watching. If we watch once together and watch by ourselves, it's 3.
Yes.
3 views.
Wow.
You can bet on Jose, on the monster that is your cat. Anyway, I superstitious because today I was riding my bike and a black cat crossed my road.
Left to right or right to left?
Left to right.
It's fundamental which way it crosses. Only
Oh,
one.
really?
Only one direction.
But we don't know
supposedly
why.
brings. No, we don't know. We'll find out.
Okay. So I
Well, was it
finally-
before or after your bike was cut?
No, it was after. So no problem. No problem. Yeah. No, I was thinking if something happened after,
Obviously,
The
must have
cross-
been the cat.
but nothing. Well, it
You
was
believe in
the-
that?
No, I never believed in that. Anyway, after the crossing of the cat, I just was very warm. And anyway, no, I never believed in that. But when you ride a bike, you don't have to be superstitious. In that case,
So
you're
you-
lost. And I have to tell you, sorry.
Yeah.
No, there's one nice story.
Mm.
It could be emblematic in my way. I was just a kid. And so I saw someone, like a kid, like I was, like me at the time, 13 years old, was riding a bike. Then he was a normal public street. So a black cat crossed,
Hmm.
all right, crossed his way. It was about 5 meters, you know.
Away.
Yeah, away.
Not a 5 meter big cat. No.
No. That was a panther, a big panther.
Mutant cat.
Shark panthers. Oh, what a bother. Anyway, so crossed the road, and this guy. No, so okay, this is not a very elegant things what I have to say, but it's simple matter. It's nice, on my opinion. The fact. So in Italy, maybe even out of Italy, there's superstitions like if someone tells you something bad or something like you pass under stairs or maybe something like a black cat cross your roads from left.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, scratching your attributes is the
you
way.
can say it, balls. I don't
balls.
Think
Okay.
I don't think you.
No one will
say
say. Yeah.
In Italy,
It's
you
not
say you scratch your
Grattarsi
balls.
le palle.
Exactly, which
the expression
is basically an expression for good luck.
No.
No,
Not. You're close, but
basically
it's
you neutralize bad luck. So if you
Exactly,
have bad luck,
man.
you neutralize it by
not
scratching
by
your
scratching
balls.
your
That's
balls.
the thing that
your own balls.
that's
Yeah.
the thing that
That's the thing.
it's very common in Italy.
It's
no?
very common in Italy.
Still, the young
yeah.
generation does it. No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. I heard it even from
it's
my uncle.
It's a weird
once.
thing. I wonder where this comes from.
Oh, because I was telling you the story. So the guy on the bike, the small kid on the bike.
Mhm.
So the black cat crossing. So he was riding the bike, and before reaching a roundabout, he was just with his left hand trying to scratch his ball.
Seriously.
So, okay, this is the onomatopoeic
So he was still
version.
on the bicycle, entering traffic, entering a roundabout.
And around the back,
and
and
trying
he
to
fell
scratch
down and fell down because of this. So I don't know if it was the cat, sincerely.
It was definitely
Yeah.
the cat.
This is extreme, okay.
Mm.
I don't want to be that. This is the way the reason why I'm not superstitious, but not all the superstition can
That guy
neutralize,
had-
but
That
also
guy had it coming.
yeah. So my suggestion is when you drive a bike, don't think about these shits.
No.
But watch
Focus
the
on the
traffic
bloody
lights.
street, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't watch
Sorry.
don't watch your freaking phone while you're
Of course.
on the bike
no. Yeah.
or in
never.
the car.
And yeah, you are.
I see that so
perfectly
many
right.
times in Rome, like just down the road. If you stand at a bus stop, just wait there for 5
Mm.
minutes. Like every second, third car, maybe
Yeah.
every third probably. You
I
will see
think
them. You will see them
maybe a
watching the
half,
phone while they're driving
While
because
okay.
they are slowing. Like there's a street crossing right at the end of the street,
Mm-hmm.
and so you have to naturally slow down.
Yeah.
And so since people are slowing down, and there's a bus stop right there, so I'm standing there, and you can see people, driving
Yeah.
slowly, but they look down, and you can actually see them from one end of the street, like for 20 seconds, looking at
20
the screen.
seconds.
Because when you're looking at the screen, it seems time passes by like a second,
Yeah.
But in that time, if
And a second is
there's-
enough to
there's
kill
chi-
someone.
There's kids playing on that street, on the sidewalk. Some of the families living downstairs. Some of those kids. I mean, it's not the best place to play, to be honest, and I wouldn't let my kids play here.
But
If I had
it doesn't
kids,
justify,
cut.
of course.
Scratching the.
Yeah, scratching or really advising someone. I don't want to be corny, but I'm not going. That's not a limit. Let's not stop advising, being redundant, repeated. It's really dangerous, because it's a. What else if not distraction can be fatal when you're driving.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean,
So,
it's so easy. I mean, when I'm standing at the traffic light, red traffic light, and
Yeah.
the car is standing,
yeah, if you really need, no problem.
it can
Oh,
happen
yeah.
easily that you check the phone for a second.
Check
Did
the
you get
phone
a
if you
message or Apple
Yeah.
Watch or I mean, it's like an addiction,
Yeah, it can be an addiction if you want. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go in talk about how alienated can be the digitalizing abitudine, scusa, non mi viene la parola in inglese.
Abitudine, habit.
A habit.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Thank you. But yeah, in the traffic light, if you need or want to check something, messages, traffic light is perfect. The risk is just the klaxon behind you.
The horn.
Yeah, this is not a problem. Then if this brings you to a discussion with someone else, I've been bited once in a traffic by two crazy people. Remember, guys, people in the traffic in Rome especially, but also in general, especially, are crazy, are stressed, and you never
Rome's
know.
a dangerous place, man.
Yeah, I think Rome is a danger.
Roman traffic. I think Roman traffic especially is very, very dangerous.
Yeah, because it's very concentrated.
It's exciting though to drive in Rome.
I would say no. Even
It's
because the time
exciting.
you are in the car, it's maybe 1/4 to
It's
the
bloody
time.
dangerous, but it's exciting.
Yeah, it's bloody dangerous. No, I don't say
It's like a cardio workout because your
Yeah,
blood
if it
pressure,
was a video
is
game,
constantly high. You know.
Okay. Yeah, this is true. But I prefer to go by walk. I like to drive in a Saturday. Have you ever driving in 15th of August or in that week around the middle?
15th of
Of
August
August?
is a holiday in Italy. It's Ferragosto. It's
Yes.
like probably the most important holiday next to Christmas, no? In Italy.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't think I've ever
Because in that
been
week,
driving around that weekend. I think all the highways are blocked. It's like a major.
that day
congestion,
highways,
no?
the days could be blocked, but around that week, so it could be the central. I would say the central 10 days of August.
Yes.
In that period inside the city, it's very nice for me to drive a car, a bike, or whatever. Especially, it's much interesting driving a car because you can go somewhere without staying. As what I was saying, the most of the time, stopped. I mean, not moving in your car. So, to me, for a Roman, it's a very nice experience because I'm usual to something very different. I worked, even for example, some jobs I worked. I was a real estate seller. It was 3 years ago. I think
I remember that, yeah.
You remember that? You told me.
Great
I think you
career
should
as a-
stop. You should stop. You're destroying yourself.
You were slightly stressed around the time. Like
Yeah.
I could
remember.
feel like the tension. Like when I got close to you, like my hair would stand up. That's how tense you were.
Oh, okay. I understand what you say. Yeah. That was
It's
true,
a
because
stressful
of the
job.
traffic.
It's a
also.
stressful job, man.
Very stressful job. First,
Pressure.
because of
You
the
have to sell.
traffic. You have to drive a lot around, and then pressure. You have to
deal
sell
with
the
shitty
company.
people, like as
Yeah.
well. People who want to sell at all costs. People who pressure you to sell. People who
Yeah,
want to buy.
that is part of the job. I mean, you have to manage it. You have to relate, to rely. Sorry for my poor English. To rely with all these people, but mainly the point is that in my case, I was not so. I mean, my rights, sincerely say, were not so protected. So even these big companies used to take someone who needs a job, and especially if he's or she is as kind of character, like is charismatic in a way, like I tried to be from the beginning. This must suggest you have to be sure that your being charismatic will not be something you are giving just as a gift to someone who's employing you.
I think it's really hard to be a real estate salesperson, no? I mean, you have to be super charismatic.
Super charismatic.
You have to be very knowledgeable of what you do, or at least you have to pretend very well that you know what you're saying.
Both, yeah.
Because you have to be confident when you talk to customers. You have to know all the slang, I suppose.
Also slang.
You have to also give them confidence if you want to sell.
Yeah, so
because they're
it's
investing
a
a lot of money. Like sometimes it's their life savings that they're investing. I mean, I don't know what kind of customers you had. If there's like rich people,
any kind, rich, poor.
I suppose if you're rich, you just have money to throw around. You just go to some real estate agency and go like, I want to buy this here. Fuck it, throw the money on the table. And
if you're very rich, there's many people that were rich as well. Were not so patient, but at the same time didn't want to be so fast. They want to realize, and they were expecting that people like me or my colleagues were also trying to, I would say, rob, in a very, very far meaning. So it's like...
So they were expecting you to rob the customer. So you're talking now about the people selling houses, giving you the
not correct. Sorry, selling houses, trying to, but the owners, because the sellers at the end we were if we had the responsible, if we
So they
were
had the
able to get
expectation
it.
that you were robbing the people you were selling
in
to?
a way, and this
And they
was
wanted you to rob them? Like they basically wanted you to
Some of them-
squeeze out as much money as possible, I suppose. That's what you mean with rob,
yes,
right?
yes, rob. I mean, squeeze. Yeah, take a lot of money as much as possible, but in a way which was not necessary on their opinion. So many times it's
So they were expecting you to be
To be non-ethical.
to oversell, to be unethical, to be
exactly. So to be unethical, to convince them, to try to convince them that I would have sold at the same price of them, but I would have taken a lot of money for provisions by the buyers. So this indirectly would have come and would have damaged their income. But mainly, this is a weird.
But why do they
fact.
care? I mean, if I want to sell a house for 400,000 euros,
Yeah.
and I tell you this is my house, I want 400,000 euros.
Yeah, but
I don't care then if you add whatever to that fee, and you take whatever you want, and if you manage to sell it,
that's how it could in my company could work. You wanted to sell your house.
I just tell you what I want.
Yeah,
Here's
that's the
the
point.
information. Here's the access to my house, the keys.
This
take
could be
pictures.
enough. Logically, this is enough.
Isn't that what
But
you
many of them didn't believe that we would have sold at a different price of the share. So the point is, they were convinced.
So how
that
does it work then?
It
I
worked like
want
this.
to sell my house. I don't have a house, but
Okay.
if I want to sell my house,
It depends on the
400,000
company.
euros. That's what I want.
Okay, if
tell-
you came to my ex-company,
Okay.
I would have told you, okay, you want 400,000. Okay, we guarantee you'll have 400,000. We just try to go out to the magazine, to go out with the hotspots on a price like 415, so more, and we grant you that, and you will not ever owe anything to us. This is why our provisions came from the buyers, not from the seller. But in many cases, people would have thought, no, I don't need to give you this responsible, because if I wait 6 months or another year, I would sell by myself it, and maybe even not more. So the money you are taking from the buyers, I would catch properly by myself if you are not trying to manage my my house, to sell my house. That's the point. So in an indirect way, provisions owned by the buyers could constitute, from a seller point of view, a loss of money. But many times they didn't realize that our negotiation, I say our, like if I was still working there. Anyway, real estate negotiations are different. So that's why 96% of the transaction in real estates in Italy are mediated by the real estate sellers. Of course, maybe of this 96, maybe on the 100%, maybe...
How many percent, sorry?
96%.
So rarely they are sold in private.
See, 4% privately, 96%.
So is it because it's just easier to handle? I suppose you also
Because it's
deal
very
with
hard to sell a house, I would say.
Yeah.
yeah, really.
It's even harder now. I read somewhere. I'm not sure if you're still in the if you still follow the market, but I saw that interest rates now rose again in Italy for bank credits.
Yeah, that's what I read as well.
I thought the
I'm not
market
very
was already
informed.
pretty bad, but now it's getting worse again. So
We really don't know. I mean, I read the same things. I'm not very informed to this, but I know it's raised, but it's very weird because 2 years ago it decreases. There was a lowering. And then
I mean, it had to do with the
central.
central bank that basically
It has interest.
removed the interest rates. No,
Yeah.
Brought it down to zero. No.
Yeah, and my question is, why did the central bank do this? And sometimes maybe I'm a bit complotist or skeptical. I think the real meaning, the real reasons.
You believe in conspiracy theories?
No, I didn't want to say that. No, it's not my.
Black cats.
Yeah, not the same stuff. Yeah, but I think it's very hard to understand technically what happens. That's the point. I don't say it's there's always something like a complotist fact, but it's very hard sometimes even for politicians and for technical people who have a very responsible role in the administration to communicate very clearly what happens. So it could, I understand even some kind of silence about this, not because there's a plot, against it, but because me, for example, I'm a medium people. I'm medium civil. Come si dice? Sorry, un civile. Cavolo, non mi vengono le parole.
Civil person, a
civil
citizen,
person,
a citizen.
Citizen.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that's the
word.
one. Yeah, I remember now. Back to primary school. I'm a medium citizen who, for example, could not ever catch everything about the reason why central bank makes some decisions and why.
I mean, like as an average
consequently-
citizen, it's very hard to understand.
to understand,
all the,
yeah, for example,
That's
and
true,
this is a central point. I mean, you are talking about the prices of the real estates, so citizens usually have needs to know something like this.
So what's interesting to me is though, like if I'm somebody who wants to buy a house,
yeah,
how do you convince me to buy a house? Because that's
I'm not a real estate agent, man.
anymore. Yes,
I was,
but you used to be. Like there must be some
Ah,
there must be
okay.
some strategies that they teach you, no?
a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
give it to us.
All right. Give it to us.
I mean, first of
All right.
all, how can
This is a
how can I
simulation, okay?
detect if you bullshit me? Like what's because
Okay,
the rules
okay.
there must be rules.
Okay, I'll try
and
to do it in
strategies.
English. Okay.
Okay.
So
Are
there
these
are
the
many
famous
ways.
balls that you were
Yeah.
scratching? Okay.
This is the first. Okay, watch this. Watch this. So let's begin. There are many ways to begin. Let's begin from your announcement on a paper.
Okay.
Just the point of start. It could be me on the streets or whatever.
Some advertisement, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm calling you, and you want to sell your house for. Okay. Your announcement was your house. It's like 2 small rooms, 1 bathroom, 1 dining room, 2nd floor.
How much does
small balcony.
How much does it cost in medium in Rome, in the center?
Cost, it depends. Which is your price? Your price now. It doesn't mean that this is the real transaction price, but give me a price.
So the price I want if I sold it.
So sure, because you have your price on
Okay,
your
so the
announcement.
seller
9 times to 10.
Okay.
So for example, give me a price you have on your announcement. I just gave you any price. I mean, it's just an example. Let's say 400,000 euros.
Okay.
Okay. And the
Is that
house
a-
is in
Is
Pigneto.
that a real price for a 2-bedroom apartment?
It could be in Pigneto. It could be a real price, but usually people ask more.
I
So
think
what
I
is
think-
unreal is your announcement.
I think Pigneto is a
mainly.
bit cheaper though. Probably it's more Parioli or Monti or some area.
But
like that.
if you choose more, oh no, we choose more. But I was think about 2nd floor. Let's say 350. But no, in Parioli can be also 5 or 600,000. I mean, if it's an attic,
For how many square meters?
Let's say 100. 100 square meters.
Not expensive.
I'm calling you because your announcement
Okay.
is on.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry. Just one
You told
step
her.
back. One step back.
Okay.
You wrote no agenzie. Okay.
Wait. So the announcement says no
Yeah.
agencies in
Yeah,
between.
and you are the first I call. Of course, because you're a private and because you are someone who doesn't have an agency, and you are the first one.
Okay, now I get it.
Believe
Sorry,
me.
I got confused.
Yeah.
So I'm the one putting the ad on the
Yeah.
newspaper. I'm a private
400,
citizen.
yeah.
I want 400,000 euros
Use
for
it
that
for your house. And you
And now the
you
first-
wrote no agency.
I
agency.
don't want agencies.
on
in
your
between.
announcement.
So
And
I'm
the-
the famous 3 or 4% of people who want to do it in private, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I call you.
You're the agency.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you don't know who I am.
Okay,
man.
you're somebody.
Okay.
Okay, you
You
call.
just wrote no agency.
Call again. I got 3 calls already. All right.
And you had 10 calls in
Okay.
last 2 days by agency.
Okay.
Try to do it in
Are
English.
we role playing or do we have to?
You have to answer if you want to answer.
Hello. Yellow.
Hello. Good evening. I called because I saw an announcement on Porta Portese magazine. So whom am I talking to? Sorry. You're
Hello.
Mr.
This is Mr. Rossi.
Mr. Oh, so you are Mr. Rossi, the
Yeah,
man who
Mr.
wants
Rossi, yeah.
to sell his house, right?
Yes, that's me.
You want
yeah,
to
yeah.
sell?
Yes. You want to buy?
Okay. Oh yeah. I can really help you. How long have you been taking this announcement on your on the magazine? How long?
Why the fuck do you care?
Hey, man, do you want to sell your house? Sorry.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but you have not sold. That's what I see.
I'm
And
just
your
saying-
announcement, it's 4 months that it is on a magazine.
I'm just saying you're
May
asking
I
a lot
ask-
of questions for the first time that you just talked. You know.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, if you want to sell the house, you have to first show your house. Did you show your house someone?
1 or 2 people, yeah.
In 4 months. Okay, I think that's something weird. I think you need some help, man, because the first thing I can tell you, the time the representative of all the seller of my company, uni company, it's not a franchising, okay? I'm the representative of your neighbor in Pigneto. So I sold a very similar to your house in the front of your building 2 weeks ago. And I have the act here. So if you want to have someone who really wants to buy, I have many unsatisfied people who wanted to buy that house, that I sold before to someone, because I always sell it to someone. So if you want 10 people to see your house, but people which have money, because part of my job is to make an X-ray analysis to the mutual situation, to the bank situation of the buyers. So please, I'm not sure that I'm interested to your house, because I have a lot of possible available buyers, but I have first to see if I am interested in that. Ask me why should you be
Why should I be interested in
because if I'm interested, it means that you should be interested, man, because if I'm interested, it means that I would sell your house. So whatever, can we meet on Saturday? You show me. If I'm interested, I tell you how does it work. If I'm not, thank you for your attention, and I will not disturb you again, Sir Sal. What do you have to lose? I'm not taking money for you.
I keep all my money. I keep all the money I want to get from that house.
Of course. I mean, you're asking here 400,000 euros, and I've not seen the house, but I think it will deserve. It's worth it for 400,000 euros. Once I see it, that's how I work. I will grant you that price. Okay? Nothing. You will not owe me anything.
And so people say yes to that a lot, I suppose. I mean, it must be desperate people though, because you say it's hard to sell. So they've been trying for months, maybe.
I can tell you in 4 months I can sell it.
That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. But that's what I told people in general. I mean, the real thing. Okay, let's close it.
Yeah.
The real thing. No, we cannot close. So let's see on Saturday. Okay.
I was still on the phone. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
on 4.
okay.
Which is the number? I just see the name of the road. Which is the number?
I write it down. This is.
Then there's 24. Thank you. Goodbye. See you. Okay. Close it.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to finish.
We had to finish the call. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
So mainly we asked for a responsible of 4 months, 6 months. What happened really? That 9 times to 10, we asked to lower the price, because the first price is always too high. Always too high. But we anyway
the
granted
first price that the customer puts on the announcement.
Yeah, and
Really?
that is 9 times to 10 is the price we granted on the contract.
It's too high because they don't know how much their
Because everyone-
house is really worth, or they know it's worth
No,
that
not
much,
just-
but they just want more money.
Because everyone, my answer in a way is summarizing all your condition, all your options. I think because everyone, and I'm pretty sure of it, everyone thinks his house is special. His house is full of mementos.
Of course.
And maybe one of them painted the wall.
It's full of memories, yeah.
Yeah, and
sure.
I understand this. The point is that the buyers doesn't give a, you know what? So
They don't give a fuck.
they don't give a shit. So, and this is one of the reason I think people usually go to real estate agent, because they understand that he's a professionist and he's the only one who can manage it. I correct myself, not the only one. 90, among the statistics, 96 times to 100. So just to tell you something more about it, many times I told a lot of lies. For example, what I told you, I
lied.
I lied to you many times. If I didn't, I would have been fired. So many times I had to lie, for example, on what I told you. Okay, I sold another very, very similar
Right
house.
next door.
Right next door. It could
in
be
the
real
same
or
neighborhood.
false. It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because I have to convince you.
Yeah.
And mostly of the time I had to convince customer of real facts, but for example, that we didn't ask them money. It was our way of working. For example, that we wouldn't have earned if we didn't sell, because I was not dependent that was earning on the responsibility I got, but just on the real transaction. So when the house is sold, to make people believe, to make owners believe on these real facts, we had to use lies. Because on these lies, thanks to these lies, people started have confidence and thinking that we were correct. It's a very weird itinerary,
Okay.
for negotiating, but that's how it worked.
But then in the end, did you manage to sell for them, or?
Personally, I did not sell because I was the acquisitore.
So it's not your responsibility. You acquire
I acquired
customers, but then you
customers
send them over to some other department.
to another department,
they take
which
care
is a
of selling.
minority of us.
And do you
which
know?
take-
Are you aware that they sold then afterwards?
Yeah,
or?
I know, because I earned when they sold.
Ah, so
So I always followed.
so did you sell?
It was not so bad, but on my opinion, just to come back on my personal experience, it was not worthy for
No.
the rest of my life. It was not my job. Maybe some people are more usual to that. Maybe some people likes more to stay in the traffic all the time. No, not for
And you didn't
me.
use a
But yeah,
bicycle
good.
to drive through Rome because the roads are
Not in the
dangerous.
summer, but I always use bicycle. But the problem was in the summer, because you have to be decent when you come to people.
Of course, you can
house.
arrive all sweaty and smelly, and
And you know how Rome is. This is
Oh, yeah.
another problem.
It's very hot.
Yeah, it's very
no,
hot.
no, it's March and it's very warm today. It's like
Yeah.
hot today.
Yeah, it's hot. Too
Blue
hot
sky.
for me. Yeah.
It's a blue sky,
Blue
beautiful weather.
sky, beautiful weather.
I was
but,
thinking of doing the podcast outside, but bringing all the equipment outside. would
Well,
be-
why not next time?
Could
Let's
be
do in the
balcony,
garden.
the balcony podcast.
Your balcony of your office is very good, and even my balcony as well. So
Yeah.
let's do it. Really, have a walk if you can, everyone, this day, and try the bike first in the park. Can be very, very nice.
But so okay, so if you sold, but then in the end, it's like a white lie because you kind of lied to them to hook them in. But then if
Exactly.
you sell on their behalf, in the end they're happy anyway, no?
Yeah, of course.
So it's not that you're screwing them over and they remain.
No, but I have to tell you one thing.
Yes, please.
You wanted
I'm
to
very
get that point. Some of us, I mean, it just never happened to me. Not because I
Some
was.
of us, the agents.
Some of us, like the agents, the agents like me, who mainly try to get responsible before selling, before that house to be sold. That's what
Yes.
I saw them just collecting as much as possible, responsible, even some responsible who, I mean, were very predictable not to be sold. But sometimes when you have an easy occasion to get responsible, you take it anyway, and this is not very correct, in my opinion.
An easy way to? Sorry. you lost me there.
To get a responsible, you're like
A responsible.
a responsible, un incarico, non so come si, un incarico,
to,
like a task, a written task, that I am the only one who can sell that house. That's the point. The exclusive, responsible mandate.
The assignment.
The assignment, yeah, sorry, correct. Responsible is just a word come from my head. So, in that case, taking this assignment was usual for some people just because it was very easy, because all the assignments are different, but some assignments were very easy. But I saw some of my colleagues taking these assignments knowing that 95% they would have not sold it, but it was very easy to get. So who knows, with the logic of large numbers, it can be useful for the job. It could be an income, who knows. And this is not very correct, in my opinion, because if someone is so focused on the point of selling his own house, if you are the professionist and you are not convinced, you should not force him to take it just because maybe he's trusting you. So anyway, I saw many things like
And
this.
who's buying houses these days?
I really don't know. who's buying houses these days.
Because
I
you
mean,
never had to deal with the people because that's a different department, so you never really saw.
I just saw them. I
and
just
you didn't
talked
get
to
any
them.
data about.
No, just a bit, because the real
This is
seller
freaking
were
hard to
some-
get a loan from banks, I suppose.
No, yeah,
because
that
you,
is,
need, you need
yes.
a good contract.
Yeah,
And in
Need a
Italy,
good
at the
contract.
moment, it's very hard to get
yeah.
a
That's why
long-term
interests
contract.
I think are
But even if you have
lower.
a good contract and enough money, sometimes it's not enough.
Nowadays it's not enough.
And
I
you need
know.
also this weird thing here, like a guarantor or something, like your parents have to guarantee.
In some
even if
cases-
you're grown up and like 50, 60 years old, your parents have to
Yeah,
guarantee
because
for
you know,
It's fucking weird.
Exactly, it's weird. It's a generation factor, because the market, which is cynical as we know,
Mm-hmm.
trusts more that generation than I would say our. I mean, let's say generation of our fathers, like person with 35 years or 30 or 40 years
Yeah.
more than us, and we that are around between 30 and 40. Okay, let's say me and you between 30 and 40. So this is a generational fact, because we have earned less. I mean, compared to the power of buying of the money, and compared to the nowadays prices of some important goods. First of all, real estate.
I mean, I understand nothing about economy, but credit in a way is a trust in the future, no? It's a contract trust.
It's an expectation. It's an expectation. Yeah,
It's,
of the future. Yeah,
Exactly. So it seems to be there seems to be very low confidence in the future in Italy at the moment. From the bank
exactly.
side,
Yeah, exactly.
it's really hard to get a loan.
It's really hard, even if the interests are not all the time increasing. Now they are lowering a bit, but the point is not giving loans.
Even now,
that.
exactly. Like even now that the interest is low, if you don't give out loans,
Yeah.
then
How can you project, do many things, buy a house, move, etc.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's very hard, and
streets in Rome are dangerous.
Citroen are
bicycles.
dangerous. And I know,
Didn't they create a few new? Just going back to the bicycle, a few new lanes and stuff in Rome, like
yeah, le piste ciclabili le chiamiamo in
the bike. Yeah, the
The point is, no, it's a very good idea, and I feel safer when I'm on that. Sometimes I risk to strike people walking.
Where are they? I don't only see them in the.
There's one
in
in
the rich
Vienna.
neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Then there's like
You never saw one.
20 meters in Monte, I think, but it's not really. No, it's not in Monte. Where was it?
Monte doesn't
It's
exist.
like-
I don't know.
Then there's like just one just below the tunnel in San Lorenzo.
I didn't say that. I didn't see that. Huh?
That
Interesting.
starts at some random point and ends at some random point 5 minutes afterwards. So
Yeah. All the points are random until they are not
I'm
connected.
sure. I think
so-
if there would be enough bicycle lanes in Rome, people would actually
not enough.
use them.
No, not enough.
I think people would use them if they were
people
if
use
they were
them
safe. If they were safe enough and large
Yeah.
enough, I think people
large
would
enough.
actually use them.
Yeah, I know there's one in Via Nomentana close to Villa Torlonia, which is not so short, and there's another one in on Palmiro Togliatti, which is very very good because it's in a very long and large way, and it's between the two halves of the street.
But yeah, there it's just single points throughout
Single
Rome. They're
points,
not connected
yeah.
with each other, so it's really
Yeah.
hard to get by. Because if there would be a bike lane from here to there,
you
could
not-
easily go shopping there, come back, 5 minutes.
Yeah, it would be very easy, less traffic,
Right now,
less
it's like
noise.
you're risking your life. And
Your
you have
life,
to,
yeah, that's
you
why.
have to scratch your balls continuously.
No, because of the fact I told you.
You
Don't
should-
be
you should
superstitious. Be
Not
focused.
well. You can scratch them, but not while you're on the bike.
Cool.
afterwards,
Yeah,
yeah.
man. Solutions. Yeah,
Mm.
that's true. Anyway, I would say be safe when you be careful. Be safe as well when you drive a bike in Rome, and let me say something which is very simple. I don't want to be a priest because I'm not transcendental. I just want to be
You
practiced.
kind of look like a priest.
Me? Really? Okay. I have to show you one picture one day. Okay. So I just want to repeat something about
Scared.
traffic. No, don't be scared.
I'm scared already.
But I would say never be too sure of what you do, and never be sure of anything about the others when you are in the traffic, because you can be sure of you riding a bike not to fall down, but it's much better to have an helmet because someone could strike you. And I want to say one last thing, which is a dramatic thing, okay? But just to give an example, which is very important. A lot of people died on two wheels, are on the bike, and have been on the bike. And bikes are less than the motorini, how do you call it?
Scooters,
motorcycles. And some of them died on the traffic light while while standing.
Because somebody from the
because
back
somebody
didn't
else
see them or saw them just.
Yeah, exactly. So never be too sure what you do because metropolis.
I don't trust fuck anybody when I'm in Rome. I always tell my girlfriend also like to watch traffic 5 times because she's a artist, very dreamy. You know, like you have to be very, very focused.
Very
in Rome,
focused.
you know, at the traffic light, even if it's a green, if I have a green light and they can walk, I never trust anybody. I must say I had to get rid of that because I was raised in Germany, you know, and like. I was very used to just everything works, and you know, it's green traffic light. You just walk. You don't watch. You can trust cars to stop down and stuff. And it took me a few years to get rid of that because here in Rome, it's fucking everybody for themselves. You know.
Yeah, it's
it's a jungle. Yeah, if you're not careful, something's gonna hit you. One day, I almost got killed by a bus.
A bus.
When I used to live close to Termini train station, and I was crossing a little square, Piazza dell'Indipendenza. Is that the name?
Yeah, correct.
I went grocery shopping or something. I don't know. And there was a cab driver, and you know, I told him like, you know, you after you, and he was like, no, after you. And I was like, no, go after you. And he was like, no, you fucker, I have to go the other way. I'm like, oh, sorry. Okay. And so I was looking after him, you know, still trying to process that, and walked.
Yeah.
And then it was one of those movie moments, you know. Like that much. Well, it felt like that much. Probably was.
But he was going in another way, but he was very close to you when he passed by.
No, the bus fucking drove through like, but it would have been my fault. I was not properly.
Well, actually, this is your point of view because you want to improve your careful.
Actually, there was actually a pedestrian crossing, so probably would have been his. Well, it was legally it would have been his fault.
That's not enough.
But I would have died. Would have been my fault for not watching.
So your rights, you were not going to claim your own rights.
And there are fucking people who step in front of others on purpose, just to show them that they are right.
I know someone who sometimes does it.
You?
Yeah.
Are you one of those fuckers?
I sometimes okay, I tell you. Sometimes I'm a bit scared, and maybe I'm not understood.
I think it's stupid because you only have one life. You know, I mean, you might be right morally.
But with a limit.
You might be right morally.
Yeah, but there's a balance.
But what's the point?
I understand.
What's the point? Like you want to teach the other person a lesson.
I want to.
But that's stupid, you know.
It's stupid if you risk to die. But I always take a distance and I watch it because I know how to step back just in case. But so they always stop. But I think on their eye, I am someone who risked to be striked by them. And I think this is a message. We cannot expect anyone else to change, even if he's wrong or if he's right. Maybe if he's wrong in this case. If we don't first, for in this example, stop on the pedestrian passage first. Second, we exigate, right?
Yeah.
Others to do it, because many other people could see it.
What's
but
the word?
Careful. Esigere. Pretendere in italiano. Sorry for. Ma pretende. Piccola dissertation. Pretende significa pretendere in italiano.
Depends on the context.
We esigere, we want, like you when you want. Okay, pretending that mean because there's also another meaning.
Okay, pretend means something else.
For me, it's also a very interesting lessons of English. This
for me as well.
Oh, cool. So we pretend in that meaning something. We pretend our rights to be respected. We want others to remember.
In that case, you don't say pretend. In that case, you say you expect or
expect.
You.
Yeah. You're right. We're right to the solution. So it's very stupid if you really risk. But I take always some meters of control by myself. But what I want to do is make them understand that I'm really crossing. I'm not waiting someone to stop, but in my head I'm waiting anyway. But I see them stopping.
But
so
you're not going to change.
be
You're not going to change their mind by doing that.
because I'm alone. But if I don't know, many people start to do it,
But
everything
but
will change.
If most people would do it, then you would not have the problem in the first place. You know what I mean?
I think so. But this is the only way to condition others with some behaviors.
But do you really think you can condition others? Like, do you think
Yeah.
that's how it works?
Yeah,
Do you
not
think-
because of me,
I mean,
because
not-
anyone.
I mean, we're not all lemmings just walking around and being influenced that easily. You know, it's like
You're not, but if you see something that could be better for you, not you, anyone, because that's what I think in these simple rules of traffic.
because we have a lot of laws in Italy. Like, I think we have more laws than many other countries in Europe.
so
and
we
still people do what the fuck they want. You know.
Yeah, but this is just a quality analysis, not a quantitative analyzing. And I always think that this is a flexible factor, not something coming from the heaven or hell. Well, in this case, would be hell, from the hell. So we have to expect and to give the example. So in that case, also stopping on the traffic lights. And pedestrian passages. I mean, we must really exercise our rights and our duties, not because of an ethical reason, but because it would be convenient for us. We would be less stressed, and it's not.
Oh yeah, no, I
it's not
totally agree with you. I mean,
I know, okay.
We all have. I agree that we all have. We have rights, but we also have duties.
Duties,
So
yeah.
it's a give and
But
take.
you are less confident in the possibility to change it. Why? Because we are not Germany.
Well,
or we are
no,
not.
I wouldn't
not
say that I'm not
German.
confident about changing. I just wonder what's the right way to bring that change. Because if laws don't work, and obviously they don't work because the laws exist, and so
Behavior can work. What do you think?
it has some I mean, I suppose less people break the law because there's a law, but still a lot of people don't give a crap.
Yeah.
It depends on what kind of law we're talking about. I mean,
In this case,
it's not that we have a lot of knife stabbings in Rome or violent crimes, for example. They are
no,
compared to other big cities. I think Rome is quite safe.
quite safe, maybe.
I mean, it depends. There's also areas that you don't
Yeah.
want to go there. I just it's like in the east. I think eastern Rome. No, there's a lot of
Eastern and
mobster
south
and
also.
some gangs and stuff. Not gangs,
Yeah.
but
And
what's called
also small gangs. For 4 years we had
like
baby
these
gangs.
these old
for example.
mob families and stuff that control the whole neighborhood and
Yeah.
stuff. It's still a
Yeah.
problem.
We have the mafia country, so in a way, in the capital we have something like this
But
as well.
it's not something that you would usually experience
No,
on a
no,
day-to-day basis
it's
as a normal citizen.
No.
If you're not involved in these areas or in law, I mean, you are involved in law a bit, but
No,
It's a
not
whole
so
different
much.
story.
Yeah, but I've been involved while I was working. I
I mean, you studied law,
Yeah,
right?
I'm not a lawyer anyway.
No.
No.
Do you want to become a lawyer?
No, I want to become something different. But I'm working on it. I'm studying international economics, European international studies. But
You want to become rich?
It's not my first aim, but sincerely, who wouldn't like to be rich?
Right.
Would you like to be rich?
Sure.
Sure.
Why
Let's
not?
become rich. Okay.
Okay, easy. Let's work on it. No, but I don't know. I mean, I read a book the other day called Lawmakers, Lawbreakers, and it talks about. I think it starts with this example that in Germany, where I was raised, you can observe people standing at the red traffic light, at 3 a.m. in the morning at night when there's nobody around, and people stand at the traffic light and wait for it to go from red to green. When there's nobody around, it doesn't make sense. But they respect.
It's a symbol.
They respect the law
Yeah.
even when there's nobody
It's
around.
a symbol. I'm not like that.
While other societies, and I think they were talking in the book, they were talking about Los Angeles, but they generally compared different countries with each other. Just don't give a crap about traffic lights even during daytime. Like even here, you see that sometimes even the police here doesn't give a crap about traffic lights. How many times in the beginning,
the good example.
The first months and years I was in Italy and in Rome in particular, I was always like a bit scared. Like, you know, it's like I saw people passing by, and there was a carabinieri car, or there was like the vigilanza, what do you call it? The vigili.
La Guardia di Finanza.
Whatever kind of, there's like 1,000 different police categories in Italy, so it's a bit difficult to. But whatever kind of police was there, nobody gave a crap. But because none of them actually gave a crap either. So they see you, they observe you,
or vice versa,
or you're standing there exactly, and they fucking just pass by with the red traffic lights without any siren on, or
I don't want to say.
Not while being on mission. I saw once.
This is.
I mean,
scandalous.
I'm not saying I'm not
scandalous.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm talking about names now, giving names. But an ex-colleague of mine, some family member, or acquaintance, is a police officer, and we were in traffic once, you know, on the highway, and he happened to be nearby.
He was in service.
Yes, and he called and said, "Look, we're gonna pass by in 2 minutes with the whole police. What do you call it?
The stop stations. Postations, postazioni.
It was like they did, like, you know, they were patrolling there or something. Okay. You know, it's like in 2 minutes we just pass by, just sneak in behind us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And so we passed by the whole traffic. It was years ago.
Yeah, this is an abuse, technically. I don't know. Yeah. This is okay.
I suppose that stuff like that happens every day. You know,
every day in Rome.
In Rome,
I don't know. Where did it happen?
In Rome. Yeah.
In Rome. Rome.
Yeah,
I was thinking something different places. No, okay. In Rome, it happens. I think sincerely. No problem. There are many officers, poliziotti, carabinieri, which are great person, a great.
No,
observer.
Of course. I mean, if something happens, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters. You're gonna call the cops.
Yeah, of course.
And
we pay taxes for it.
And I have friends who are who work both for the Polizia di Stato and both for the Carabinieri. And I've heard some stories, like what they have to go through and what they see every day, and it's fucking madness. So, you know, I have a huge respect for.
No, of course, never go against categories
in Italy. So yeah, exactly, it's stupid to say police is all
like
all cops are bastards and all this crap.
Bullshit, bullshit, complete bullshit. And that's what that was happening in my office in real estate agents. Always talking bad about police, lawyers, I don't know, engainers. But
that's what gangsters do. That's what mobs do, you know.
Yeah,
gangsters talk bad about police.
Exactly. But I have to say one thing that you were right in saying about traffic lights. It's very sad to say, but on my experience, long experience here in Rome, I can be sure of the fact that the big major part of who doesn't respect traffic lights are policemen or Guardia di Finanza or
pedestrian crossings or something, like they just.
Yeah, I was talking about the
car.
Just race pedestrian
through,
mainly.
They mow you over if you're not going.
Sorry, first pedestrian, then in the car. What I told. Yeah, and pedestrian as well. So it's not something about moral, but it's something about believing in a way to be less stressed and so even less aggressive. You know, this city and this traffic system is very aggressive. We should find.
I know, but how are you gonna change it? You know,
step by step. I'm only one. If you are another one, if someone is another one, people used to do it because step by step, they were the bigger minority, then the majority.
It's like today there was this demonstration in Rome today. Maybe it's still going on for the climate.
I don't know.
Demonstration, tell me, like the students today were demonstrating for the climate.
Today was
it's a worldwide thing. What's the thing called again? Let me check.
She's a 16 years old girl.
Yeah.
Who's promoted
this. To that.
She's been elected the Women of the Year. Yeah, I follow this, but tell me more, please, because I didn't know anything about today.
Let me see what it's called. Where can I find this? Here.
You are the fast Googler.
Yeah.
Google for us.
Okay, Klima. What's it called? 1 million young people on the
Climate
streets
for
in Italy.
children,
It's
don't
an event
say
in 133 countries, 2052 cities. What's it called though? It's Greta Thunberg.
Mm.
No, I can't find the name of the whole thing.
I don't know the name. Sorry for everyone. So it was today.
The thing had a name.
I passed by at La Sapienza University today. I didn't see anything, but surely. Has
I mean,
to
I was
be there.
talking. I was having a debate about it with my girlfriend about this because I mean it's good to show that you're for the climate. I mean, but I don't think there's anybody who's against the climate.
Yeah, maybe Berlusconi would have said that they are communists are against the
not even
climate.
Berlusconi.
But not,
So
not us.
I mean, it's important to pressure politicians to do more for the climate. But what I don't understand in this, I mean, I have to read more about it. So I admit
Me
I'm a
too.
bit ignorant about the whole
Me too.
topic around this demonstration today. But what exactly do they want politicians to do? Because they're not gonna magically press a button and the climate's gonna decrease. And it's a challenge that is very, very complex. In the sense that there are certainly things that can be done, but as the more I read about it, the more I understand also that it's not that
Obvious.
it's guaranteed
Mm.
that when we do certain things that we're gonna slow down or even stop global warming. And you can say, okay, but at least let's try. But try what exactly? Because there's so many things we can try. And the problem is that realistically all this costs money. No?
Sure.
And so if you invest millions and billions of euros into something, you have to take it away from something else.
Yeah.
And I saw this interesting TED talk the other day. This guy who was doing a list of priorities of how where to invest your money to get out the most good for $1 or something. And so there were a lot of things that they could do, like I think what was amongst them? Healing, curing some diseases and stuff, you know.
So general principles.
General things, problems, general solutions to problems.
Best marginal
But
utility
concrete
for
solutions
$1.
where they actually know that if they invest money in that, they're going to have an effect that's going to improve something in the world. Also famine, like people starving, not having access to water. Because it's all... The problem is that global warming is one of many problems, but it's also connected to other problems.
Sure.
So if you have people in poverty, first of all, you want to lift them out of poverty. You want to make sure that they have a stable life, that they have a future, that they also have access to better education, better food, better health, having then less children in consequence. So that's going to be a positive effect on the world's population. If you have not a growing population, you have less people who are going to need resources. You're going to have more efficient, like it's all connected with it. Like, for example, one thing I also saw is like the Europe and the United States, for example, are not the biggest problem when it comes to global warming. Actually, the numbers are decreasing their impact on global warming, but it's China and India that's the big problems right now.
Yes.
So even if today, I don't know the numbers, so I could be wrong, but as I understand, it was less than 15% of the emissions are from the United States. Probably it's even lower. I suppose Europe is going to be even lower than the United States in emissions. I have no idea. I'm not
think
sure.
So, but
we'd have to fact check that. So maybe I'm completely wrong in this. But
I think the same.
It's the last thing I read about it.
Interesting.
I don't want to spread.
Can you tell me again the name of the other book you were talking about
before?
Just not to forget
Lawmakers, Lawbreakers.
Okay, thanks.
And
this
so
was the other one.
I don't know. It's what was I saying? Right.
That,
So what you gonna do about the fact that even if today we forbade all cars driving around, unrealistic. Let's say, okay, we're gonna stop with all cars. We're gonna substitute them all with electric cars. It's not something that you can just order. Like there's not enough. First of all, there's not enough electric cars. They can produce fast enough. Like Tesla can't produce them fast enough. And right now they cost around $35,000. Last time I checked, but maybe it's a bit cheaper now.
What? Sorry,
and they want Tesla, the cars, the electric cars. and they want to bring them down to something around $15,000-$17,000 or something. But they can't produce them fast enough. So it's not that they magically, and they have like a huge factory, you know. And it's not something that just magically happens because you want it. So technology takes time. It takes time that technology changes, improves. Efficiency of batteries has to improve. Also, manufacturing batteries has to improve. So
efficiency.
So to come back to the demonstration of today, what exactly are you asking for?
For you mean
from the politicians?
Cars?
Like, what are you demonstrating for the climate? You know, it's like we're all for the climate. I'm for the climate too, and I want global warming to stop.
Yeah, I think.
But you know, it's what you gonna do?
I would start from.
And we must do something because Italy is mostly on the coastlines. You know,
one of the lot of examples.
Buy a house in the mountains, probably gonna make a lot of money in that.
Yeah, it is.
If you buy them now,
it is harder than what I thought.
Investment.
Of course, who can afford it? But one small point. And could be even choose to go more by walk, and why
but
not
that's a personal thing that each of us could do. But the question is, what's the impact on the environment? Because as I said, if the whole of Europe has a very small percentage, if the stats are true, that the whole of Europe, the whole continent, with all the factories and all the heavy industries, has a very comparatively low impact on the environment. So even if we zeroed everything,
how can you?
Still China and India are the big problem of global warming. So even if we start all walking tomorrow,
not all walking,
or risking our lives, driving a bicycle through Rome, it's not going to change anything.
I'm not saying that everyone should do it. Use more your walk if you can walk. Use more your bike if you can bike. If you use more bike, but this is not a solution. This is
in fact, but
just a simple that came in my mind because I came by bike.
It's a change of state of mind and whatever. It's also healthier for you, and
so
no doubt about that. I love to walk as well, but it's not going to change the climate.
In a way, it is, because if we, in a small way, it's just a small contribution. If we use less cars, less buses. I mean, not electrical buses. The main buses.
But as I said, even if
less effetto serra.
But if in Europe, if the impact is so low in Europe in total, all over Europe,
which is the solution?
Then so if we take from all Europe, we go to Italy where we're here right now, and if from Italy we come to here to where we are, to Rome, and we all start walking, the impact
that would not
within Europe
so much,
would be zero, and the impact of Europe is already low compared to the global. Emissions, as I understand. So
average,
So what's the point, you know? I'm trying to be a devil's advocate a little bit. So I'm not saying we should not do anything. We should do something, but it should be something that makes sense, you know?
Sure.
And I don't understand.
My solution was just my daily solution, changing your habits in that way. But this is not the main habit we should change. And I really don't know which could be.
I just don't understand what people are asking from politicians to do. I mean, they're all saying that everything's going too slow. So they say the Paris Agreement, that, I mean, the United States, they left the Paris Agreement, but they say that everything that was promised in the Paris Agreement is they're too slow to put them in practice. I don't know, not even sure what exactly they agreed on.
Do you think when people say like this, know what they are talking about? I mean, that's the question I have. Was slow or not? They just say
what is too slow? Like what is too slow? What are the concrete steps? Like go completely substitute energies completely with renewable energies? Is that what they want?
I think this is part of the aims, part of the program. One of the aims.
But do they have evidence that by doing so we will lower?
Me, for example, I don't have evidence of it. I just
no. I mean, I'm not saying, you know.
No, me.
Are there statistics? Are there anything? Is there any scientific evidence?
I really don't know. I know that just some things are clear, like investing in coal, for example. Coal would not be a solution.
No, that's clear. Yeah, sure.
But many politicians, even from Trump, I think, for example, are focusing on that. Substitute some energy sources.
He has clean coal, you know, whatever that means.
Yeah, clean coal. So I just, for example, I just know some maybe obvious facts, or maybe I could also be wrong, but I always ask myself this question: which could be my conduct, my best behavior as a citizen to make contribution to this, and on what should I base my expectations? What should I complain about? So,
I mean, it's a good start to begin with yourself, I suppose. So your own behavior is, I think, is the right approach. So if you want to change something, you should probably change yourself first.
Yeah,
and that has
your relation,
and that gives a good example to other people as well. And I think that's the best thing you can do. I think imposing things on others is difficult. I'm not sure if it's a good idea in general. I think it's counterproductive too. I think you often get the opposite.
How can you
effect.
impose?
Well,
is
by
very
force,
different.
violence. That's what some people do.
I was excluding this, but yeah, this is something daily happening in some ways.
But the government uses violence if they want to force you to do something. Then
Yeah, maybe they should change the system of the interest. But now I'm becoming macro sentencing. I'm becoming very obvious in that way. So I think we should be, just to add something, to be even more curious on the effect of our choices as a consumer, buyers, workers, choosing
absolutely.
Like that. But more, interested, sharing more this, being less scared, being less, how would say, skeptic also about that. More interested, more exchange more information, even like me and you, people in general. So this could be.
I think it's very important to be curious about the other person's perspective, about life in general, about the possibility to improve yourself, about
the way you want.
I think it's very important to recognize that we are mostly ignorant, all of us.
Of course. My interview is based on this. I was not sure I'm ignorant. Okay, I'm not an expert of. We didn't know.
No, we're ignorant. Like most humans are ignorant of most things. Like you may know something about the niche. You know it very well. Like you probably about law and music and all these things.
Niche
jiu-jitsu
of law, niche of jiu-jitsu, niche of the music played.
And I know a few things here and there, but I think that's a big problem that we all are. That some people are too confident about what they think they know.
Yeah.
And
we are switching to.
Or they're super smart about one particular thing.
Yeah, that's the big problem.
And then they think they know everything, you know.
Yeah, and we work in the music, so we see a lot of. Well, this is an example. Artists everywhere. I can do this. I'm a painter. I'm a sculptor. Maybe you are, but why should you? Okay, my personal point of view. I think in the last 10 years, 15 years. In the artistic contest in Rome, in Italy, and maybe on the media, so from all the countries, there's a new way of a new primatism of the subject. So first, for example, if I am a painter, I first want to the typical one. First want to show that he's a painter, write his name as a painter, as an artist, show his photos, and then after that comes what should be the art. I mean the product, the items, the works, the works. But sometimes, I mean, last 15 years, maybe it's part of the media climate. I don't know, even social networks, and maybe this is changing another time because maybe this time is finishing, you know. But we have seen a lot of primatism of the subject in the name of the false principle of the freedom of the expressions. I'm really pretty sure about it. I mean, I've been really hurted by this many times. For example,
hurt.
Really suffered about it.
Okay, suffered. Yeah.
Suffered. Sorry. Correct always my English.
No, I will not correct you. I love.
Please.
I love you the way you are.
Yeah, and I will love you the way you correct me. Tarantino would say, I love the way you
The other
die, man.
The other day I got corrected. I went to some thermal baths in close to Viterbo, or in Viterbo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was rushing to get the bus ticket in the end because we were missing the bus. There's like only one bus to drive back to Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And like I ran inside and went to one of those ladies.
You corrected the
one
driver.
of those girls. No. I was rushing back inside the building to buy the bus ticket.
Oh.
And there was a girl there, and I asked her like, due biglietti una corsia per Roma. And she's like, una corsa. Like, I misspoke when I was saying one direction, you know? So corsia instead of corsa. So that was the first one. I don't remember the other two, but it was basically like in a movie. Like I was saying 2 things or 3 things wrong because I was in a way relaxed because I was there all day in the bus. 2, I was stressed at the same time because the bus was about to leave. And 3, I was just tired. And so, my Italian was a bit flaky.
Corsa, corsia.
And so I said 2 or 3 things very quickly. I also spoke very fast and probably I mumbled a bit or whatever,
No, don't worry about it.
No, I don't worry. But I found it funny.
No,
and
I think you have a good
Italian.
Italian.
And then the other thing is I had the card to pay, so I said can I pay wireless? And here it's called contactless. So she also said, so posso pagare wireless? And she said, contactless? Like, it was like within 10 seconds she corrected me 3 times. Like she totally destroyed me,
Contactless.
And I couldn't process all the information in that moment because it was so fast and the bus was leaving and I had to get the thing and my card and the tickets and I didn't understand anything.
I was relaxed as well. Maybe the driver was
and
the seller.
And she totally owned me there. And I was thinking of when I just went back into the bus and I was like, what just happened,
Yeah, you were on the bus.
Yeah. So anyway, I appreciate it in a way that you corrected me, and now I try to be much more careful when I talk in Italian.
I mean English, I'll try.
But yeah. Anyway,
thank you. Always be corrected is a good thing if you need it. Wow.
Well, if you like it. Some people don't like to be corrected, Personally, I like to be corrected.
I like to be corrected when someone knows how to correct me.
Anyway, what was what we were talking about before we...
Buzzes,
what correcting you? Your English, then you said...
Then I said... we're talking about the prime subject, the subject, yeah. So many people used to say, I'm an artist. Right. Sorry, I really don't like it. I have to judge if I am just a user of your art.
So you don't like if somebody says, I'm an artist?
If they have to introduce themselves like, I work in this situation, so
I'm a painter.
This is my job.
I'm a musician.
I can say musician, artist, or artist is very general. Okay. I can say because I want to want to explain these aspects of my life. So, and this is another meaning of the word artist because it just means that someone pays me. I have a task. I've been employed, etc. Okay. Mm-hmm. But more in general, like talking about the art, I don't like people saying, oh, I'm an artist. Because the artist is, I think, just my opinion, just the author of the art. What is the art? Nobody knows it. I think it's just something that we don't live to put our humanity spices go on. Okay, it's something just we do it because of the pleasure. Okay, maybe this could be considered art. I mean, just one residual meaning. So who's deciding who is art? It's not an objective fact. The users, the watchers, the buyers, the hearers, the touchers, the readers, everyone who's receiving that.
Who experiences the art, who's on the receiving end. Okay.
So these are the subject judging if something is art or not, or what art is and what is not. Mm-hmm. So why should I say, if I am the author of anything, saying I'm an artist, let first someone say, okay, this is art, and then second, let someone else say you are an artist. Not just put yourself artist, and so by this, okay, qualify what you do as art.
So you think it's pretentious to call yourself an artist?
Yes.
But what if you are an artist?
You really think so?
Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you for telling. You're an artist as well.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think really you are in many ways.
So, okay.
But you never said I'm an artist. Sorry.
I don't know. Maybe I wrote it somewhere in some biography or something. Maybe I was a bit pretentious about it, you know.
I repeat, it's
when I was younger, especially. Now for example, I don't call myself a musician. I call myself an entertainer. It's much more broad.
Okay.
Because technically, like, I could not, like, playing the guitar. I played quite well, but I don't play it on high levels, you know. Like, I'm not a serial black.
This is your criterion to choose a word or another. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like, a musician for me is somebody who, like a martial artist, somebody who's been studying to play one instrument or two instruments for like 20 years. That's a musician for me.
Okay. So you give an entity, you give...
if you just play an instrument, you're an artist.
So
I don't know.
You first judge the actions and the result. So you first judge if it is art, the art, and then the other. That's the approach I prefer. Not like from someone who introduced himself to be as an artist, then the rest should be.
I mean, then again, you can say you're an artist, but then it's up to others to decide if you're a good artist or a bad artist, you know?
Yeah, so that's what I think.
So, but you can still call yourself an artist. It's like I can call myself a guitarist, but you can tell me, okay, he's a good guitarist or he's a bad guitarist. I can still say,
but you know, when you use words like musician, painter,
everybody's a musician and a painter. Somebody told me once, who was it? Probably my grandfather before he died. Like, everybody in Italy is an artist, he said.
Cool. I like your family. I really do like your family. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, it's been very interesting to talk with you, Saul.
Yeah. Frankie, thanks for passing by.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. No, I just have to go to the bathroom. So.
All right. It's awesome.
You tell me.
Let's wrap it up. It's fine.
How long we're staying? I can sleep here, no problem.
No, thanks. It's fine.
No? Okay.
It's okay.
I like your cat. He has a very nice cat.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm telling to someone here around. Where is the cat? Okay.
All right, man.
Okay.
Great.
And I think I'll go for a run later because this is a very good day in Rome. Which day is it? 15 March.
It's 15th today.
15 March. Okay.
I guess so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just to be clear that I'm talking about today, 15 March. I don't know if tomorrow is gonna rain.
So I cannot upload the video any other day. I have to upload it today. Thanks.
Upload today. This is a very, subliminal way to convince you to do it. But you're very efficient. Yeah.
All right, man. Great. Thanks for
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
It.
It's been a pleasure. And how to be here again, it's a pleasure for me.
Definitely. We're going to repeat this.
Even if I'm not expert, but I like.
You're an artist.
Thank you. He's an artist too.
All right. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.